taking a spoolie for your eyebrows and just brushing up my brow. Like so. As you can see, that looks so much better. It's been brushed. And I have naturally very, very pale eyebrows, so like I always have mine tinted because I'm literally like, I can't see my eyebrows. I just like to brush them up because I always think I know everyone recommends brushing them up before you start, but another tip if you do brush them up is when you want a fluffy brow, because your hairs change direction when you brush it, it's so much better to do it first because you can kind of see where you're putting your pencil or your pomade or whatever you like using. If not, if it's flat, when you brush it up, you end up with gaps because it's not where the direction of your eyebrow would have been. So I'm going to show you two different brows today because I like to use a pencil really on my brows, but I also occasionally do use like a pomade like the Anastasia Beverly Hills if I'm going on a night out, just to really define the underneath. But I don't like that as much as I used to because I prefer a fluffy, natural looking brow rather than a really harsh line, but it's all about personal preference. So I'm going to take my brow pencil, sharpen it. What a bad makeup artist that I'm not sharpening my stuff. So take a sharp pencil. This is actually a Primark brow pencil and they're actually really good. You get a little spoolie on the other end and I do really like them. They're really cheap. I think this was like £1.50 or something, but for everyday use, they're actually amazing. I like to use the MAC ones, the pencils. They're my favourite. And I like using them on clients that don't like a really strong brow because they tend to feel a bit more confident with it. Right, so I always start off by lining the underneath. So I just start doing little brush strokes. Don't go too close to the middle because you don't want it really, really harsh. You want to keep that fluffy, like that gradient ombre effect, so it's less, I forgot what I'm saying. So it's darker, obviously, this way than it is at the front. God, it's so hard when you feel like you're talking to yourself. Just keep. And I love a really thick brow. Like, I'm obsessed. I know some people don't like them and some people feel like they don't suit them. But I say the bigger the better. And as you go along, just keep. I do this before I even do my makeup. So if you do go like out of the shape of your brow, it's absolutely fine because you can just wipe it away, or rub it away, or use a cotton bud. And I like to follow my brow down a bit at the top because I do have hairs there, but it goes a lot sparser. But I like to fill it in when I'm having a brow because I like the thickness that it gives. So your spool is so important because it just blends it really nicely in for you. Again, I'm just brushing the excess product out and through my brows and up, brushing them up so I can see where I want to go. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a little patch here and it never grows as much as the others, so I like to move the hair. Just be as light as possible because you're literally mimicking the hair. This would be like if I was putting makeup on to go shopping or just do something in the daytime, this would be my brow. Or if I fancied like what I consider quite natural. So say we have these hairs here that aren't as dark, aren't as thick. I've just gone in with my pencil, shaded it, and I've added some extra hairs on the tail there. And then I get Pears clear soap. Amazing. It does the same as if you buy actual soap brow, the company, the make. It's the same. And I use a water spray. Just get yourself a little spray bottle. Spray. See, I've got a hole in this though, I've used it that much. Spray your soap till it's like visibly see water on it like that, so it's damp. Get your spoolie. I recommend, I usually for this, which I don't know, I've not done today, I usually use the disposable spoolies, mainly because on clients it's obviously more hygienic. But even on yourself, I've wrecked so many spoolies rubbing them in soap like this. It just seems to clog up your spoolie brushes. You can get them on Amazon, like 100 for about $4.99. It's not a lot, and it just saves you wrecking nice brushes, because I've wrecked a few nice brushes doing it. It's not quite wet enough, that, so I sprayed it a bit more. And you almost want to make like till it goes like a paste, so you can, it's visibly white on your brush. Is that the water? You make a paste, and it does seem like, oh my god, my brows are going to be dead white, but trust me, they're not. And I would even recommend going back over once you've done it with a fresh, I've not even got all of mine on me today, how disorganised when I'm doing a video. I would recommend going back through with a fresh spoolie, because my favourite ones are the Peaches and Cream PC09. I have quite a few of them, you can never. So, and then just go back into your brow. Now, it will feel a little wet on your brow, just be gentle though, and brush up the hairs. Oh my god, I just love it. I'm actually obsessed with fluffy eyebrows. Like, I stare at people sometimes and they must think I'm rude or something, but I just get so excited when girls have dead fluffy brows. It just makes my day. I put a bit of soap there on the top of my head, so either just wipe it off like so. And you can kind of keep it. You could have it really spiky. I'm trying to do this quick so it doesn't set. Really spiky if you wanted. Or just go in with your second spoolie. So the way mine's completely stuck up now, just neaten it up a bit so you could follow that slight line round. If you don't want those hairs stuck up, you can see that it's still all fluffy, but it's just tamed them a little bit. It depends how dramatic you want to be. This is my dry, like, non-soapy spoolie I'm just brushing back through now. I like mine quite fluffy. But it depends what you want them to be like. But as you can see, that's way more defined and fluffy than that one. I love it. And this is why it's made my year that they've started doing brow lamination, because I'm going to get it done and then I can just be permanently fluffy browed 24/7. But this is an amazing way to, if you don't want to go for like brow lamination straight off, to see if you like it, to see if you suit it. Like, at the end of the day, you just get a makeup wipe, take it off at the end of the day, your brows are no longer fluffy, unfortunately. Right, my second way that I do my brows. So, any pomade you could use. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is Taupe. I like it because it's got quite an ashy tone to it, but I generally don't use it a lot anymore because I just prefer a more natural brow. Some people don't, and that's absolutely fine. Like, a lot of my clients who've got like hardly any eyebrow, they like me to use a pomade because it builds it up a bit for them. So get a really flat brush that you'd use for an eyeliner. This is a Cassie brush, Cassie Lomas brush called Harry. Amazing brushes. Amazing. She designed them all herself, so they was like really easy. This was so to help all the students do winged liner flicks really well, but I also like to use it on my eyebrows. So I also like to slightly dampen my brush, just spray it with your water spray. And that purely is, that's just water, that. It's not even like a primer water. You could use priming water if you wanted, but sometimes I just think it's a waste. And I like to take most of the excess off my brush, and you're just going to line here, so along your brow, not going too much over, just to get that defined line. So here we go. Don't start right in the very corner either. You can go back in and add a few little strokes after. And this isn't too dead dramatic, it's just, it does give it a slightly more defined look. It just depends, like, I don't know, sometimes I like doing this if I'm going on a really like big night out somewhere nice. I just think it tends to it does last, but I do love my fluffy brow, so I never know really. See, I've done the line there, and I'm not doing it dead harsh at all. It's not about filling in your whole brow and making it look blocked in. Fair enough if that's what you like, but that's not like my style, but it's okay, doesn't matter. You can have it however you like. Take your spoolie, not the one you used for the soap, like a clean, fresh one, and then just brush up, because you don't want a really harsh line underneath your brow. You want it to look as natural as possible, but defined. And then just, I need a little bit more pomade. As you can see, to be honest, I always use far too much. I do it when I'm doing cleanse. I'm just going to go across the top in that patch where I said the hairs grow, but they're not as thick, so they're never as dark. And I'm just, I really am, like, I can't tell you how lightly I'm doing these strokes. You just, I felt like I was going to sneeze then. Oh. Oh, sorry. I know sneezing's unhygienic, but I'm doing my own face, so I would hand sanitize if I was touching a client. Oh, just keep filling it in. See, my brush has gone a little bit dry now. I find that with pomade, I think it dries very quick. You've got to work with it quite fast. I'm just lining my brow. As you can see, it seems much more dramatic than my fluffy brow. Yeah, I still do it quite fluffy, but if I'm having this brow, I tend to use a brow gel or something like that, a clear brow gel. Or what is lovely is the Charlotte Tilbury hair brow gels, like in, I think there might be a medium brown, whatever's like a medium brown tone, that's the one I would use. Her brush is very, very fine and very precise, and that always looks really nice. But as nice as that brow now looks, that is my favourite, like the fluffiness. That's my winner every time.